Serge's approach to teaching is so unique because the approach is so focused on this kind of all of life being for Christ, that kind of all of life quality.
In the beginning, when you realize that you're part of this gospel story, that you're the continuation of what God has already set in motion, that changes the way you think about your life. It changes the way you interact with people.
God created us to subdue creation. He created us to reflect Him in that. Like, that just gets missed so much of the time until you fully understand, like, the gospel seeps through to more than just, Sunday mornings and my get out of hell free card, that actually seeps into every area of life.
Serge has influenced the way that I live my life dramatically. When I go to work, I just don't see people the same anymore. I actually go there looking for opportunities to share the gospel.
God has created me to glorify Him in the way that I laugh with my kids, in the way that I run my house, in every aspect of my life. And so converting the Bible from a list of random things that are good and things that I should do to a story that I could be a part of made a huge difference in how I thought about every aspect of my life and what I was doing.
I know that I'm in position to lead my family, and I'm called to lead them towards God, to lead them to live a life to serve.
So here I am in a public high school. I can't say, hey, you are part of God's story. But I can say you're part of a story that's bigger than you know. Kids want to belong, and they want to feel a part of a family. And so when they're able to start telling their stories, they get in touch with those places in their heart that maybe I can't say, yeah, that's God, but I can pray.
For me, it's one thing to hear sort of theology and solid Bible teaching on Sunday from the pulpit. It's incredibly critical, but then to be able to have an opportunity to sort of apply that gospel thinking to everyday life, and having a group of guys that can help you sort of work out how that permeates vocation, family, that was the big deal for me.
It seemed like I was always hiding something, and now that I live in community, we tend to learn each other's flaws, but we're there to lift each other up and just consistently point to the cross and to the gospel.
It's cool to know that there are brothers there that dedicated their lives to the cause of Christ, that dedicated their lives to the mission of God, dedicated their lives to knowing more about Jesus.
It's fantastic that what Serge has done is kind of filled that often really big gap that exists between what you do Monday through Friday in your work life and the kind of Sunday church life. And it's really become this way of kind of stretching those two together and creating a way to make it known that that work life is extremely important and valued. And there's a tremendous amount of things you are learning in Serge that can be directly applied to that work life and kind of make your whole, if you will, life for Christ, that kind of all of life quality, really start to have, actual handles and feet to it.
Serge is a commitment. Serge gives accountability, it gives friendship, it gives relationship, and at the same time helps us become the men and women that God wants us to be for life. Not for just right now, but for life. So 1 year for the rest of your life seems like a really good deal.